ব্যাপারটা কানেক্ট হচ্ছে না কেন? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we shall start our fourth year class, Power System Protection and Switch Gear. This is part one, means part one of the lecture. That's actually the I shall teach you the part two of your syllabus. Okay, mainly the relay. Now relay is very vast topic. It cannot be covered totally in a class. It is not possible, and it is everyday updating. So whatever we will be taught in the class, that is the basic of relaying. In practical system, it will it will be changed, varied from one system to another depending on system criteria. So there is no specifics. There is some guidelines, but there is no specific rule for relaying. So we shall learn those guidelines and the rules we can follow for relaying for protection purpose of a power system. And I am recording this class only for a record for you to submit in university. I shall not share it with you. So you take the class note as your own. So I shall send you the PPT, whatever I am teaching. I have tried to write most of the points, most of the information within the PPT. So sometime it will happen, I shall skip those points that I have written, but I shall discuss also. So those points you read yourself. If you have any doubt, then you tell me in my next class. And you must go through the papers every day and in every class, after the class and before coming to the next class. That will be suggested for relaying, because it is very much conceptual as well as informative. So you have to learn it as well as you have to memorize it. So do not make any gap in that. So Here we shall start from switch gear protection. What is the why this is the name switch gear and protection? Actually, there is one part which will disconnect the heavy power system. You know, power system is a heavy power device. Power normal operating condition. Power may be transferred 0 to 500 megawatt or more than that, and voltage level may be up to 750 kV. So you have to disconnect that system, a particular part of that system when there is any unhealthy situation arise. That means mainly here we shall discuss about the overcurrent issues. That means if there be any short circuit in the system, if the current is more, then how to disconnect the circuit, what are the strategies available for that, that we shall discuss here. Now, so there will be two parts for protection. That is, one device should sense the abnormality in the system, and it should discriminate the normality of the system from this abnormality, and there should be one arrangement that will disconnect the system. So if we think about short circuit, that one device should be there that will monitor the system current at every moment, and it will initiate a signal when there is any abnormality in current, if there be any hike in current due to short circuit. And there will be another device which will disconnect the power system from the unhealthy part, the healthy part from the unhealthy part. So if we think about a transmission line, so in transmission line we have learned up to this that there is a transmission line connecting between two substation or between two power system buses. Now the transmission line, there is a protective devices also. So because if there be any high current is flowing through the circuit, then it should be protected. And to disconnect this transmission line, if there be fault in this transmission line, anywhere within this transmission line, then a circuit breaker or a switch should be connected in series with the circuit transmission line, so that this can be disconnected. We may assume the circuit breaker as a switch like this. So it is normally closed like this, 2 point in the switch. Then in abnormal condition, it will be open like this, right? But here we have to keep in mind that this is not so easy like an electric circuit in our lab, because here current is huge in terms of hundreds ampere. You have to calculate it for long line, current is 300 ampere, 400 ampere like that. And when there is short circuit, current far higher than that. You have seen in, if the normal current is 1 per unit, then fault current is 5 per unit, 6 per unit like that. So if the normal current is 5 ampere, then the fault current will be 2500 ampere. That means 2.5 kilo ampere. So it is required to disconnect the circuit at that high current. So there must be good insulation and good current bearing copper capacity of this circuit breaker. So in one word we can say it is a switch, but it is not so simple as the switch in case of electrical circuit. Now who will give the information that whether the circuit breaker will open or not? Who will give the information that whether current is 500 ampere or 2.5 kilo ampere? That is provided by the relay. So that's why there is a relay coil. Relay coil actually sends the CT will measure the current every time and energize the relay coil. So relay coil will be energized to an extent so that it can close a circuit when it crosses a threshold limit. That means the relay coil will not be energized to a sufficient voltage when the current is 500 ampere, but it will be energized to a sufficient voltage when current is 250 ampere. But it does not mean relay coil will energize only at 2500 ampere. It will start to get strength after 500 ampere. And when you want to open the circuit at 505 ampere or 1000 ampere or 700 ampere, that we have to set, that the protection engineer have to set. That's why I have told there is no hard and fast rule for that. And whatever different fault current calculation we have learned, that we can apply here. So if it is a very sensitive line, then for the three for the transmission line, single three phase fault is the severe most fault. So you may sense this, you may set the relay coil setting for that severe most fault, or the least severe fault. I think it is single phase to ground fault. Maybe I have forgot the expression. Anyway, you can set for that one also. So what importance you are given in this protection scheme, the setting will be dependent on that. So relay coil actually energize this contact. So when relay coil when it will be energized, then it will attract this contact like solenoid. So when it will attract this contact, here as per figure, this contact A will move upward and it will close the circuit. So this will close the circuit. That means it is energizing some coil. That is coil called shunt trip coil or trip coil. So in relay, actually there are two coil. Relay coil will be energized, is always energized using the system current by CT, because relay is a low power device. Every time it is energized, but it is energized with the system current. But when relay coil energized, it close a secondary circuit which energize trip coil. So this trip coil circuit is the low power circuit. Okay, relay is also low power circuit, but in relay relay coil is energized to give the signal to the circuit breakers that you should open, and trip coil will serve the purpose. Trip coil will initiate the circuit breaker to open and close the circuit when the trip coil energized. Then actually this contact will move towards the trip coil and circuit breaker will get open. So in circuit breaker actually there are two moving contact. One is moving contact and one is fixed contact. Fixed contact does not move. Only the moving contact moves during for closing or have you understood up to this?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have any doubt, then you interrupt me and ask. So this total system, so actually this total system is called switch gear. In switch gear, actually there is circuit breaker and relay. The study about relay is generally called protection. You nowadays this may be possible, but in if you see the standard book written in say past, then they are generally written in the protection system. Protection system actually means the about the relaying of a power system. Okay. So providing protection using relay is called relaying or protection system. Understood? So actually, this shunt trip coil will initialize the movement of this circuit breaker. But circuit breaker is very heavy device. Can you imagine? It will disconnect a circuit of 2.5 kiloampere. So obviously, it is not a simple contact. It will be heavy material. Contact is not a point. So for the movement of fixed coil, fixed contact, it may require motor depending on the size of the circuit breaker. So there may be and then there may be two motors should be there, or motor should move in opposite direction depending on opening and closing operation. And when the circuit breaker is in closed condition, that means there is a one moving contact and one fixed contact. Okay. So when you are moving the moving contact towards the fixed contact, then there should be a certain pressure on moving contact so that it gets the full contact with the moving contact. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be contact gap that will arise contact resistance. So that will be in series with the transmission line. So it will create unnecessary drop, unnecessary problem. So that's why there should be spring, so that the moving contact or fixed contact moving contact should be kept at proper position at the desired position. Okay, that's why they are operated using motor, and there is spring mechanism to maintain the moving contact at a particular position. You know, when we open the circuit, say this is the moving contact, I am writing only, sorry, fixed contact, and there is moving contact, I am writing M. Then the voltage, what will be the voltage appeared across the circuit breaker? The system voltage. So if the system voltage is 230 kV, then this 230 kV will be available across these circuit breaker contacts. So this gap should not be, the gap between the fixed contact and moving contact should not be very low. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be ionization of the internet medium in between them. Then the circuit will be continued. So there must be a desired distance among these in between fixed contact and moving contact when they are in open condition. At the same time, there will be no contact between, no gap between fixed contact and moving contact when they are in closed condition, they are in contact. That means that's why we need spring. Okay. So what should be the capacity of circuit breaker? At normal condition, at closed condition, it should be capable to carry the system current. At abnormal condition, when it is not open, then it should be capable to carry the short circuit current. When it is open, it should be, its terminal, across its terminal, it should withstand the system voltage. That's why in circuit breaker, depending on the voltage rating, there may, or the power rating of the circuit breaker along with current, the circuit breaker may have one insulating medium like oil, like vacuum, or it may be air if it is of low rating. So in this way, there are different type of circuit breaker. Professor Sudipta Nath will tell you about this in the other part. So what will be the basic block diagram of a relaying operation? So actually this S1 is the system. So in system, actually system is entrusted to supply some device, maybe motor or a part of a power system. But to protect that system, there must be a city to sense the to give the information to the relay about the current. There must be a circuit breaker in series with the system connection, so that if it will be shorted at the way under healthy condition, and it will be opened under unhealthy condition. Then there will be a secondary system, this one, where there is a relay. Relay will sense the current from CT, and it will give the signal to the trip coil depending on the abnormality of the system. Now you must remember, relay is a low power device, so system 2 is low power and system 1 is the S1 is the power system voltage or power system sources. So obviously, what are the main component of block diagram of a relaying operation? Obviously, relay, circuit breaker, along with source CT sources and trip coil. Okay, a circuit breaker is also included within the trip coil. So for relaying operation, we need a CT, we need a relay that will give the supply to the trip coil, and we need a circuit breaker. Actually, trip coil is included within the circuit breaker. So what is the function of protective relaying and what is the function of circuit breaker? I have already discussed and pointed out here the topics I have discussed. Now, what should be the main feature of a relay? So relay should be sensitive. It should sense whatever be the current. Otherwise, it cannot protect any system. So during normal condition, it should not operate. We should set the relay setting in such a way. At normal condition, it should not operate, and at every abnormal condition, it should operate. That means, for the example of 5 ampere normal current, ideally for 500.1 ampere it should operate, and for 500 ampere it should not operate. But generally, relay does not have some this type of sensitivity. So we have to sacrifice this type of sensitivity. We may set for 600, 700 like that, but not for 500, 500.1. And that is not also required, because due to some overloading on consumer side, we do not know that one. There is a uninformed overloading. So if we set the relay for 500.1 ampere, then it will trip unnecessarily, because there may be sudden load growth without informing the source supply agencies from the consumer side. So that's why you do not set the relay at 500.1 or just above the rated current. And one more thing, when there is abnormality in the system like short circuit, then their current does not change in such a fashion 500 to 500.1. Current change in multiple of the normal rating. So that is safe enough to keep a wide gap between normal current and the abnormal current. Next is selectivity. So if we set a relay to protect a particular device, a particular generator in a power system. So there are 10 generators. We have given a set a relay to protect the generator 2 only. Then it should protect the generator 2 only, not the other. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be unnecessary tripping, and when there is a more tripping, more disconnection in the power system, then what will happen? Other sources will be overstressed because load remains same. We are not disconnecting load; we are disconnecting equipment. So if the equipments are getting disconnected, then the equipments which are now in the system that will get stressed. So there should be proper selectivity. Whatever task is given to particular relay, that should do that particular task, not more than that. Next is reliability. So what is reliability? Whenever we expect that a relay should operate, it should operate. Otherwise, its reliability will be threatened. Next is speed of operation. That means when there is a fault, when there is a abnormality, relay should operate at earliest condition. Okay. But sometimes so always fast acting relay is preferred. But what happen, sometimes transient condition appears in the transmission line, especially, but which is very instant. After some time, it's go like a bar fall in a transmission line or a tree branch fall on the transmission line. So in that case, abnormality come for a very short time, and it creates some transient in the system. But when it goes, then the system become normal. But if the relay is so sensitive and its speed of operation is so high, then it will operate within that transient condition. So then what will happen? There will be unnecessary tripping of the system that was not required, because that transient will die down automatically. So high speed of operation is also not preferred sometimes. High speed of operation may be applied for generator but not for transmission line in that way. So all these four features, selectivity, sensitivity, reliability, speed of operation, is not possible on a particular relay. We have to sacrifice one or more get the advantage of the others. So these are the basic feature, but sometimes we have to select some feature and we have to deselect some other. এসিডি plug গুলো off করতে। Okay. Generally, the equipments are protected, all the equipments. Transmission line, bus, plug hole. Transmission line, bus bar, generator, and motors. Why motors? Motors in a lot side, but generally motors are protected because it draws heavy power. Sometimes the protection is given for some industrial load also as a whole. Now, how the protection is incorporated. So you have seen this type of single line diagram for the power system. So that means a generator, transformer, then transmission line. Here there is double circuit line with two generators, so they are shorted, and these are bus bars. Now, when we apply the protection, then if we want to protect this zone, then we subdivide this zone into some subzone. Say here we incorporate one subzone. This is, we may call generator bus bar. Then on both side of generator we provide protection. Why? Because the fault may be on generator side, fault may be on the transformer side. So if the fault is in generator side, then this the opening of this relay is sufficient. Then this transformer may get connection through this generator. Okay. Otherwise, if the fault is in this transformer, then obviously we should disconnect the line. So in this way. So always there must be subdivision of each zone. You can see in bus bar also there is subdivision. So that means if there be any short circuit here, if we put a subdivision here, a section here, then this fault will not be transferred on the other side. So purpose of power transfer will be served to some extent. Sometime it may not be in total, but it will be served. The purpose will be served. So in the same way, actually, there are so many subdivisions. These are called zone. So this is the when we are providing protection in the generator side, then it is generator protection zone. Transformer side, transformer protection zone. Transmission line protection zone. In protection system, when we discuss about protection system, then generally we do not call it transmission line. In book, you may get feeder protection instead of transmission line. Transmission line and feeder are the same thing. So this type of protection will be there. Here I have shown by a section. So whatever I have discussed, this is written in short, but you do not copy this one if the question asked in examination regarding this. You read the question and answer accordingly. Do not copy from here directly. Here I have given you the point I have discussed so that you can memorize it or you can explain the figure as by your own.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, why there is a protection between two transmission line?
two transmission line here. This one.
Yes, yes,
This
ma'am.
is
But
bus
there
bar
is,
protection, not transmission line.
ma'am,
There is a bus bar sectionalization. Have you learned in substation?
yes, ma'am.
Sectionalized bus bar.
Yes, ma'am.
So for that reason, so in bus bar, say if there be any say fault at this position, point A. Okay. So right here, if there be a point B, there be a fault. Can you see the point B as I have drawn?
Yes, ma'am.
So if there be a fault here, then what will happen? This total bus bar will be grounded to 0. Now if you put a circuit breaker here, so circuit breaker will disconnect this faulty portion. So this bus bar will be sufficient, will be healthy. Then power transfer will be possible through this transmission line for that reason.
Actually, ma'am, in the bottom picture, there is no protection in the right hand bus bar. Rightmost bus bar, there is no.
I have shown you different type of possibility. So one
Oh,
bus bar with sectionalization, another bus bar without sectionalization. Okay. So
okay.
normally there should be sectionalization, but sometimes it may happen. It has less importance. So we may not give, because this protection, every protection, if you if you want to provide, this is cost is one issue. Relay is very costly. One differential relay cost 1.2 lakhs, 1.52 lakhs. I think we have bought, I think 2015 like that. So it is very costly. So whenever it is, ideally it should be given, but if it is needed we shall give. If it is not, if the load is less important, then we shall not give. But here I have shown for academic interest that all type of possibilities. Understood? Now you
Yes, ma'am.
see. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you see here, say this generator, this relay, say if I write G1, let me write, let me discard it at first. If I write the protection, say this is the G1, say giving the primary protection to generator 1. What is the meaning of primary protection? So if there be a fault in generator, then it is expected that G1 should be operated at first. But say somehow due to the problem in relaying, due to the problem in circuit breaker, it has not operated. Then what will happen? Shall we allow it continuously to drain the current to the short circuit? Then the power to short circuit? Not. Then next to that, what should we expect? That this relay T1 should operate. So actually, if there be a fault in generator 1, then G1 relay is providing direct protection. Okay, so G1 relay is the relay connected with G1, that G1 protection system. G1 means here obviously there is a circuit breaker along with a relay. So G1 is is called primary relay. That is, it is primarily given to provide the protection to generator 1. Secondly, T1 will act as a backup relay. So if G1 fails, then T1 will give a secondary protection to generator 1. At the same time, T1 will provide the primary protection for the transformer 1 in this way, right? So this is the generator protection zone. So actually the dotted line is shown the bus bar protection. Okay. So you see this bus bar protection or transformer 1, whatever I say, I have told you a transformer. This is protecting the bus bar also. So you can see there is overlapping. You can see black dotted line and red dotted line. That means always there is some overlapping in between the zone for protection purpose. Or in the other way, there is some backup protection along with primary protection, so that we can give a complete protection of to the system. If there be a fault, it should be disconnected, maybe instantaneously, maybe after some time lag. Why time lag? Say when there is a fault in generator 1, we should expect that G1 will operate at first. Then it should not happen that T1 will operate at first. What is the problem if T1 is operating? If T1 is operating, that means it is disconnecting the transformer also. That means we are disconnecting some healthy portion also. So it is always expected G1 will operate at first. But if somehow G1 fails, then T1 should wait. It should give time G1 to operate. How long? That will be set. So it is expected that G1 will operate within the 20 millisecond. So T1 will start operation after 20 millisecond. So in this way, there is a concept of primary protection and backup protection. And always the protection zones are overlapping. If this is the transmission line protection zone, this is the bus bar protection zone. So this transmission line protection zone is also supplying protection to the bus bar. So they are overlapping to ensure better protection scheme. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
So whatever, yes.
ma'am, if there is a sudden peak of current, I mean, for a minimum instant, there is a sudden peak of current.
That
That
means
is
during with DC component.
no, ma'am. The AC component.
No,
I
no.
mean,
Say sudden peak means during fault or during
du-
normal condition.
during normal condition,
Okay.
if the relay operate, no, I mean, the sudden peak is for a short time period. Uh, if then the relay will operate,
No, sudden peak. How the sudden peak will come? Due to
there
some
is a fault.
transient, due to some load.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, that's why I have told relay can operate depends on how if you set. If the say you are protecting a say super semiconductor device, a station connecting semiconductor device, say solar system, solar power generating system. Okay. Then this is very costly. You do not want to take any risk for that. Then you can set the relay which is protecting that portion uh, by that sensitivity. That is sensitivity issue. That means say if there be any instantaneous peak, say within half cycle it will go. Half cycle means 20 millisecond is one cycle, so within 10 millisecond it will go. But if you do not allow this that high current also, that transient current to that power system, solar power generating station, then you should disconnect within 10 millisecond. Otherwise you may wait up to 20 millisecond. So it is relay sensing every time the current is high. So when it is peak, it will sense, but it will take time to operate up to 20 millisecond. So within 20 millisecond, that transient will die down. It will not operate. But if you want to set that within 10, whenever there is a transient, even at say 5 millisecond, it should operate. Then we should set relay in that way. So it will depend on the how critical system we are protecting. Have you understood? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's why there is no hard and fast rule for that. So whatever I have told, that there may be, the relay can be categorized into two type. One is basic relaying or primary relaying, or the backup relaying. So primary relaying always give the first step of protection or primary importance to the protection. By any means, if it is fail, then backup protection will backup relay will give the secondary protection. That means primary relaying always disconnect the smallest uh, unhealthy zone, and backup relaying always disconnect higher more region than the uh, primary relaying, whatever it is disconnecting. Now primary link, why primary link may fail? Due to problem in relay, due to problem in circuit breaker, due to problem in sensing devices, because circuit, due to signal changing, signal transferring devices, due to any reason it may fail. Now, some important fact about backup relaying. What may be the common sense that backup relaying should not have common circuitry with the with the primary relaying, because if it is a common circuitry, if there's a problem in that circuitry, then it should not work. Okay, so it is totally different from the primary relaying. What are the points I have written that will be easy, understandable for you? Then backup protection are of two types. First two is relay backup. Two we generally do not use, but theoretically it may be possible. One is relay backup. That is, a single breaker is given instruction by two separate relay. Okay, so that is called relay backup. So like this, in this protection, say generator 1 has the fault, then G1 may be instructed by two separate relay. So one relay given instruction, generator 1, this breaker has not operated. Then second relay is giving instruction, then it is operated. Then what we are doing? We are fully trusting on the breaker. So this is not so fruitful protection scheme. Next is breaker protection. Same relay is giving the protection to the giving the supply to two breaker. Say here G1 and T1. So same relay is giving supply. So if there been a problem in breaker in G1, then T1 breaker will operate. But in that case, we are relying on relay. But if there may be problem in the relay also, so it is always better to take separate set of relay. That is remote backup. Relay and breaker set is totally different from primary relaying and for backup relaying. So that is written here. Remote backup. Next, what is the concept of relaying? So this is the thing. Say this is a solenoid, simple solenoid, and whatever be the relay coil that is energizing this solenoid. So from where relay coil is getting current, it is getting the system current actually through CT. So step down system current is energizing this solenoid, right? Now there is a moving part of this um, solenoid attached with hinged with this solenoid. Then what will happen? So due to the energization of this relay coil, as per the direction, this type of flux will be produced. Now, so this side will be north pole. Which side will be north pole? Here flux is coming out from here. So this side will be north pole. This side will be south pole. Now if the current is high, this current is high enough, then flux will be strong enough, then this air gap is very small, that means in between this moving part and the fixed part. So actually this moving part will move towards the south pole. So this is the moving part. I may write here M, and this is the fixed part. So moving part will move towards the fixed part when the relay coil will be energized beyond the with a current beyond the threshold limit. So the circuit will be designed in a such a way that this flux will not be strong enough for the normal current. The flux will be strong enough for the, please do not come late. I shall not give any entry for the from the next class. You know that. You have already attended my power system performance class. So actually, the this relay, actually there is a moving part and there is a fixed part. And this flux has been developed due to the relay coil current. This is actually system current, a proportional a current proportional to system current. So if this flux phi is strong enough, then this moving part will move towards the fixed part due to the magnetic attraction. And when it is moved to the fixed part, then there is a contact here. This contact will make close these two contact, which is initially NO, right? So actually what will happen when this is closed, actually this is closing some circuit like this that I have discussed, right? This signal is given to this circuit. So the trip circuit is totally isolated from the relay circuit. But in this way, the signal will be passed to the trip circuit. So this is the concept of relaying. Since here one arm of the magnetic circuit is moving, it is called armature type relay. And since it is attracted, the moving part is attracted by the fixed part, that's why it is called electromagnetic attraction type relay. Why electromagnetic? Because here we are providing protection by using electromagnetic induction. Now I have told you that this flux should be high enough depending on the system current, that so that moving contact will move. So how will you set that one? That's why there is a spring. So this flux will be high enough to overcome this spring tension in the opposite direction. So this spring will keep the moving part at the open condition, and if we want to close the circuit, then this flux will be high enough to counteract the tension provided due to the control spring, right? That means this is called the restraining torque or restraining action. It is helping relay to be at the open condition, and there will be one torque should be developed that will help to move the relay to the closed condition. That is called the operating torque. T suffix O, this may be T suffix R, right? And what is happening when there is a movement in the moving portion? Then actually it is closing the contact, NO contact to the NC by this strip of say conducting material, and that will close the trip circuit, which will energize the circuit breaker trip coil circuit. So this is the concept of relaying. So actually there are some terminologies related to that. There is one term pickup. So what is the meaning of pickup? Pickup means that this moving portion of the relay is tend to move. That means it is going towards the closing. Pickup does not mean relay is closed. Relay has been totally operated. Pickup means it has started to started its operation. That means in that case the system current has started to go beyond its setting. Okay, say if this system current is 500 ampere, then you have corresponding city current say 5 ampere, then you have set this one to operate as 5.5 ampere. So what is the corresponding system current? You can calculate. So 5.5, when the current is 5.5 ampere, that will also energize the flux such that this moving contact will move, but it will move slower is as compared to the current if the current is 8 ampere, is not it? So for 5.5 ampere or for 8 ampere it will operate, but the movement of the moving portion the speed of moving portion will not be same. So it for this the 5.5 ampere the speed will be slower as compared to 8 ampere, because the strength of flux will be lower in the earlier case. So when the so beyond the 5 ampere this moving portion will start moving. That is called pickup. That will happen when the system current, when the system current will be beyond the rated current. Okay. Here we cannot set anything. This type of relay, whenever the system, the current, relay current will uh, will exceed a setting current or a system current, then obviously the relay will trip. Maybe in slower fashion, maybe in faster fashion. Okay. So this is the simplest relay. So here we cannot control the at which current it will operate, and we cannot control the speed of operation also, because it will be directly proportional to the current, the exciting current of this magnetic circuit. But this is very easy to understand the concept of pickup from here. So pickup is a when relay start the operation. Okay. So it will happen when current go beyond a certain range. Similarly, there is reset. Reset means when the system is say healthy, again the current goes to 5 ampere or less than 5 ampere, then what will happen? Then what will happen? Again this go towards the rest position, then that is called the reset. That means when relay goes from on condition to off condition, or say closed condition to open condition of the circuit breaker, or for the relay, then it is called the reset. So obviously, ideally, if this relay start operation for greater than current 5 ampere, then it should close operation for any current less than 5 ampere. But this does not happen for this particular type of relay. Why? Because air gap is involved here. I shall come here later. So here actually, when there is a air gap, then you see when close. Let me discuss this later, because otherwise so many style I like to skip. I shall discuss that one later, where the opening current and closing current are not same. Because I shall discuss I have planned to discuss that one with when we with the different type of relaying. Now I am discussing concept of relaying. Now what are the basic element of protective relaying? One is learning it. Can you hear me?
Now you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
How long it has the connection has gone?
Ma'am, just a few seconds.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
No, ma'am.
Huh?
No, ma'am, it's not visible. I
One-
think you have
one
to
minute.
present again.
Now, can you see the screen?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Hello.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Presentation is not coming. 1 minute. Okay, I am closing the class right now. Have you listened to up to the pickup current and reset current, pickup concept of
Yes, ma'am.
pickup and reset?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
আবার চলে গেল। এই তুই কি ইয়ে করেছিস? তুই কি আমার সুনিতা ডিসকানেক্ট করে দিয়েছিস? সুনিতা হালদার শেয়ার করতে আমার ইয়ে চলে গেছে। হটস্পট অন কর। Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
after pickup and I shall give you the PPT. The remaining portion I shall discuss in next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So I think
Thank you.
tomorrow we have a class. Tomorrow. Let me see. So okay. Well, the link will be same. So whenever there is scheduled class, you come and join. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Please leave
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please leave the meeting.